and I want to talk about a speargun I'm building. The speargun's name is Billy, and I'm doing it for a member of my extended family. The first step in a speargun building process is to conceive of what you want, get an idea of what the speargun is going to be like. I'm told that Billy is going to be used in Western Australia from someone who's living in Perth. Generally that means clear water and big fish. The sort of gun that's required for a Samson fish or a Spanish mackerel is a little bit different from the sort of gun that would be best for using on doofish. But you can get a general sort of compromise, and you can get an all-round sort of spear gun that suits those waters. To get a bit of range, Billy's got a stock length of somewhere around about, almost exactly 1.2 metres. Big fish can bend spears, so you want a really strong spear and you want a heavy spear. So, opted for a Rob Allen spear, 7.5mm in diameter. The front of the spear should overhang the spear gun by somewhere around about 30 centimetres. So if you've got a 1.2 metre stock, that means a spear that's 1.5 metres. To throw that spear properly, you'll need two rubbers. I would say 40mm rubbers, probably at around about a 3-to-1 stretch. You can always shorten them later. Before you start construction on the gun itself, it's pretty important to get the spear and the mechanism, because even though you've got a pretty fair idea of what you want from them, quite often things just don't turn out exactly the way you thought they might. That's the mechanism, partly set into the stock, but not quite finally there. There's a spear. Single flopper. Rob Allen spears are very tough and won't bend, or very, very hard to make them bend. They will eventually rust, but if you've got a stainless steel spear and you hit a big fish, well, that's the end of the spear anyway, so the durability of stainless steel spears is probably not an issue in this circumstance. I decided to make the gun out of Victorian ash. It's structurally stable and it's about the right density to get the buoyancy of the gun right. But a spear gun made just out of Victorian ash is a bit boring, so I thought I'd trick it up by adding a little bit of red gum. The red gum was added in when I made the blanks, when I made the blank for the stock and I made the blank for the handle. It was all glued as an integral part of those two components. You can see here the blank for the stock. This is after I'd cut off all the dried pieces of epoxy and run it through the jointer and the thicknesser to get it nice and square. And here's the blank for the handle, squared up too, glue removed. It's ready to shape and make an ergonomic fit for the human hand. This is the rough shaped handle. It's for a right-hander. It needs a bit of work to get the line smooth, but the general shape is right. This is for a breakaway. The contrasting grain and colours of the different wood looks good to my eye. And when it's all finished and all comes up nice, I reckon it'll look not too bad at all. After I squared up the stock, I put a spear channel, routed a spear channel in, and routed a pocket for the mechanism. Then I put a taper on the top to facilitate access to the rubbers. The actual stock is tapered towards the muzzle, and that will become part of the cuttle shape later on. The cuttle shape will appear when I get rid of this area here along here. I'll taper the underside of the stock here, I'll round over it with a router, and that'll make it look a lot slimmer and lighter. It should be quite an elegant shape. One of the virtues of wooden spear guns is that they're slightly more massive, and that provides a more stable base from which to launch the spear, which usually results in greater accuracy. This gun won't be as massive as some, because that'll aid the manoeuvrability of it, but I reckon it should still be a pretty accurately shooting gun. What are the next steps? Well, I've got to get rid of all this stuff here in the front here. I'll cut it off, dock it off. I'll drill a couple of holes with the rubbers. I'll get rid of the hard edges and corners here. Then I've got to do the ballasting and balancing, and then put a final surface coat on it, seal it, and make it look shiny. a little sign writing for the name too. That should be the subject of a later video.